According to statistics from humanprogress.org, firearm-related homicide has fallen 28% in the United States since 1990. My name is Ron Frey. I'm an attorney at the Frey Law Firm, and today I'm going to talk about surveillance, criminal activity, and digital evidence. So again, firearm-related homicide has fallen 28% in the United States since 1990, according to humanprogress.org. It seems unbelievable, but that's what the statistics demonstrate. The methodologies are outlined on their website. And this raises the question, why does it seem that violent crime is always on the rise, even if that may not be statistically accurate? Is it reality? Is it our perception? Or does it have something to do with the prevalence of surveillance and digital evidence in our society? There's pervasive surveillance, and it's everywhere. Many may recall a time when you could go outside, go to the store, go through an intersection, simply knock on a neighbor's door, maybe walk your dog at the park, and do all these things without being recorded by a single surveillance camera. Today, this would be nearly impossible to accomplish. Stop and look around next time you're near or within a commercial establishment. Take note of the number of cameras that are present in your daily life. When you're at a busy intersection, go ahead and look up, see how many cameras are surveying the area. In many cities, it's routine to have surveillance cameras at major intersections and elsewhere. When you combine this with the fact that most Americans are carrying incredibly advanced digital cameras on their person in the form of a smartphone, it's no surprise that so much alleged criminal activity is captured on video. These devices easily capture crisp, clear video and audio, and they can record for extended periods of time. Gone are the days of significant public events being left undocumented by way of video or photographic evidence. This state of surveillance, it's apparent now. Cameras are everywhere. In 2014, it was estimated that there were approximately 245 million surveillance video cameras that were active and operational. As a result of all of this recording, it's become commonplace within the courts to encounter significant evidence that's captured by way of video recording and surveillance. I recall receiving a packet of discovery in a case involving an alleged breaking and entering, and it included multiple discs of video footage from around the city that purported to show my client riding within a certain vehicle. The footage was crisp, and it spanned multiple roadways, highways, and intersections. In addition to the surveillance employed by the government at the state, local, federal levels, the cost of home security video systems has dropped drastically. The quality, however, continues to rise. So whether it's a Nest camera system or a Ring doorbell, the number of residences and small businesses with video recording systems continues to rise. As a result, the evidence within courtrooms across the country often includes video surveillance footage from these devices. When this pervasive surveillance is combined with criminal activity, the result is often horrifying depictions of crimes being carried out. This is especially true when it comes to violent crime. However, it's not uncommon for all kinds of criminal activity to be captured by surveillance cameras, whether it is some sort of theft attempt, a trespasser, or a violent robbery. Video footage is often captured as part of the investigation. In addition to all of the cameras utilized by companies, individuals, and municipalities, law enforcement continues to expand its use of video surveillance as well. When I first began practicing law, it was relatively rare to have a case that involved any video footage. At that time, most law enforcement vehicles weren't equipped with any dash cam videos, recorders, and the ones that did have dash cam capabilities seemed to often fail. Today, law enforcement generally employs dash cameras, body cameras, and surveillance cameras within their booking and interview rooms. As a result, many cases now include hours of video surveillance evidence. For instance, in a typical DUI or DWI case, it's common to have dash cam footage from multiple vehicles, camera footage from within the cruiser, footage of the booking room, and also footage within the room where the breathalyzer or other tests are being administered. We live in the era of the 24/7 news cycle. Our society consumes media very differently than it did even a decade ago. The written word and print media continues to lose ground to the audiovisual elements that are broadcast by the major news outlets. Viewers are now exposed to footage from around the world, often including crisp and clear video. Out of the billions of people around the world and the hundreds of millions of digital cameras collecting footage, it's not difficult to fill the cycle with engaging and often dramatic content. Crime reports and descriptions of criminal activity are no longer limited to the written or spoken word. Reports on criminal activity often include video of the crime actually occurring. Even if that footage is not available, there's often footage of the suspect being arrested, appearing in a booking room, or appearing in or outside the courthouse. Prior to the advent of pervasive surveillance, it was a rare sight to see a recording of any crime actually taking place. Even in the cases where video footage may have been available, whether from a casino or a bank, the footage was often grainy, black and white, and this is no longer the case. Most of our phones are capable of recording high-definition content. Social and online media continues to grow exponentially, and the ability for a person to simply broadcast live from their phone in high definition was completely unheard of until very recently. Whether it's on YouTube, live stream, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, the number of platforms available to distribute content to millions of users continues to expand. As a result, the number of crimes, violent and otherwise, that are readily available for viewing at any time continues to grow. I often come across a video on my Facebook feed about an incident on a subway or some sort of fight in a schoolyard, something that's, going viral because there's some sort of violence depicted. Well, after you watch that video that often depicts a crime of violence, you're immediately fed a stream of related videos, sometimes hundreds of them, depicting additional incidents of fights and crimes and violence. And this is true on most, if not all, of the major platforms. Go ahead and just go on Facebook and type in "fight on a subway," and you'll see what I mean. Go on YouTube, same thing. As a result, the number of crimes, violent and otherwise, readily available for viewing at any time continues to grow. Viewing criminal activity and acts of violence has a different impact than simply hearing about the conduct or reading about it. We are regularly confronted within our social media feeds with depictions of violence and criminal activity. Some of it is shared and promoted to seemingly increase ratings. Some watch because it's dramatic, and sometimes it's apparent that it's broadcast due to the entertainment value. Oftentimes you'll see robberies gone wrong where suspects fall through the roof of the convenience store or engage in some other conduct that is probably more entertaining than traumatic for the viewer. Our continued exposure to criminal activity and depictions of violence impacts our perception. It has an effect on how we view the world. Prior to this pervasive surveillance, the footage we were exposed to was very infrequent. And when we were exposed to it, it was almost always a national event. Whether it was the Kennedy assassination or the Rodney King beating, the footage of dramatic criminal conduct was often few and far between. It certainly wasn't available at the click of a mouse or tap of a phone. Digital video footage of alleged criminal activity is found on the news, our social media feeds, and most significantly within our courts. As a criminal defense lawyer, I have witnessed firsthand this evolution within our justice system. The number of cases involving surveillance footage continues to rise. It seems technology is recording nearly all of our activities. Even in cases that don't necessarily include video footage, the question has to be asked, where is the video? As a defense lawyer, I'm always looking to investigate the integrity of the evidence against my client and the nature of the investigation law enforcement conducted. A comprehensive investigation should include gathering any and all relevant evidence. There are times when video surveillance footage or digital evidence is not properly preserved or collected, and this can lead to significant issues in the litigation of the case. If trends continue, we can expect that surveillance will become even more pervasive than it already is, with the advent of wearable technology, watches, glasses, and the continuing declining costs of such devices. One can only guess as to how much of our daily life will end up being recorded. In court, this evidence, or perhaps more importantly, the lack thereof, will often benefit one side or the other and can often greatly assist in determining the truth of the matter. However, as to whether all of this surveillance is a net positive or negative for society, that remains to be determined. There is no doubt that although crimes of violence may be decreasing, depictions of crimes of violence and our access to the viewing of crimes of violence has increased exponentially in recent times. I'm Ron Frey with the Frey Law Firm. If you or somebody you know has a question regarding criminal activity, alleged crimes, if you're under investigation, please do not hesitate to contact the Frey Law Firm for a consultation.